Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I will share the insights and best features of Jira. We will cover a lot of good features Jira provides. Many of you must be already aware of what Jira is. Now, whether you are new to Jira or looking to deepen your expertise, my goal for this video is to equip you guys with the knowledge of some useful features that can be of help while managing projects in Jira. We will begin with a brief introduction to Jira and what all Jira can do. Then we will cover all the features one by one. So let's get started. And we'll start with what is Jira. So what exactly is Jira? Jira is an agile project management and issue tracking tool developed by Atlassian. It is used by many organizations worldwide. With that, let's also understand what are the capabilities of Jira. First of all, issue tracking. Jira enables teams to track the progress of various issues. Users can create, assign, and manage tasks, bugs, and feature requests, tracking their progress from starting to completion. Then, agile project management. It supports methodologies like Scrum and Kanban. Features in Jira are designed such that the management of projects in Agile is easier. Like teams can use boards to visualize their progress. Teams can manage sprint, manage backlogs, effectively collaborate with each other. What I'm trying to say over here is that if you're using any frameworks of Agile like Scrum and Kanban, then Jira acts as a very good tool to manage their workflow. Then, customizable workflows. Jira allows the customization of workflow to match the specific processes of a team or a project. This means you can create a sequence of steps that an issue goes through from creation to resolution as it is applicable or followed by your team. Then, integration and extensibility. To utilize full potential of Jira and use Jira for end-to-end project management, we can integrate it with different useful tools. For example, we can do integration with code hosting platforms like GitHub, Bitbucket, etc., or deployment pipelines like Jenkins or other tools like Confluence and many more. Then reporting. Another useful aspect of Jira is that it has various reporting tools and dashboards that provide a good insight into how the team's performing and how the project is progressing, what are the metrics that are being presented, etc. Then access control and permissions. It offers different levels of access controls and permissions, allowing administrators to control who can view or modify different parts of projects and issues. Example, only admin can make changes to workflows. Then collaboration features. Jira facilitates team collaboration through features like comments, attachments, mentions, enabling team members to communicate with each other effectively and in a way which is very close to face-to-face communication, but within the context of their tasks and projects. Now, let's move ahead and see the usages of Jira. Requirement management. Jira facilitates the tracking of project requirements, ensuring alignment with business objectives and stakeholder needs. Task management. It enables the creation, assignment, and tracking of tasks from creation to end. Bug tracking system. Jira offers robust bug tracking to identify, prioritize, and resolve issues effectively. Test management. Jira offers integration with various test management tools that allow for planning, execution, and tracking of test cases, test executions, test plans, etc. directly within Jira. Reporting. Jira provides comprehensive reporting features for analyzing project data, tracking performance, assessing progress, etc. Product mapping. Jira enables visualization of project roadmaps and strategies, aligning tasks with milestones and product goals. Estimation. Jira supports various estimation techniques such as story points to help predict workloads and project timelines. Customization. Jira stands out for its deep customization options to match every project management style, like customizing workflows, customizing issue types, fields, etc. Notifications. One can send timely updates and alerts to keep team members informed about task assignments, updates, and deadlines. Planning. Jira facilitates sprint, release, and project planning within tools that help organize tasks, set priorities, and define timelines. Backlog management. Jira offers features to manage and prioritize the product backlog, ensuring that the team focuses on high-value tasks. Capacity and resource planning. Jira assists in managing team capabilities and resources so that optimal allocation is done within tasks and projects. Okay, so before deep diving into the different features of Jira, let's have a walkthrough of Jira so that we have a better understanding of everything further. Okay, so as soon as you open your Jira instance, you will be logged on to this page. This page shows the various projects which are associated with you or have been created by you. For example, this clinical process project has been created by me. So let's just open it. And even before that, if you want to create projects of your own, on the top we have different tabs available. We'll talk about the different tabs and their functionalities all the way through our video. First of all, let's go to the projects. And here you can see the projects which have already been created and been worked on are under the recent label. And then if we come down, then we have this view all projects and we have create project option available over here. Let's create project. Now here, if you want to create a project, different project templates are available for us. For example, the most common one, that is the software development project, we can create from here. Then we have service management projects, work management projects, and as per these projects, there are different templates already present there which help us in managing our projects. For example, if it's for project management, then we have different templates already there which help us creating a project structure for that particular kind of a project. Now go back. I'll show you software development because it's the most common one. Then we have the Scrum and Kanban templates available. These are the most commonly used ones. If you want to create a Scrum based project, you can go ahead and create this project, use the template. You will get the issue types as epic, story, bug, task, and subtask, and you will have a workflow associated with you with states to do, in progress, and done. We'll talk about workflows later on when we move further in our video. Now if we want to create the project, we can just go ahead and click on use template and then click on select a company managed project. It's better to use this option if you're using Jira Cloud because it has more features available to us. I'm going back to the project templates. Similarly, I can create a Kanban project as well. If we see, the issue types and the workflow is same in both the projects, but there are certain differences which comes along as a part of Kanban or Scrum framework, and those all things, those differences are taken care by Jira. Okay, so currently we are on the active sprints. Since there are no active sprints yet, therefore we don't see anything on our board. On the left hand side, if you see, there are lots of menu options available, and backlog is the most useful one, or we can say that it's used the most. Then I'll just scroll down. So backlog is divided into two different sections. That is, the first one is for a sprint. because I wanted to create a sprint, so therefore I have divided a separate section where I will have only those issues which will be a part of my upcoming sprint. So this kind of separation helps us while we are doing a sprint planning. Then I have 11 issues in my backlog and it's showing 5 issues in my sprint. If I click on any of the issues, then a detailed panel opens up which will have all the different fields which are part of an issue. So as I've already told you that what all different types of issues will be depends all upon the project you are working on. If you are working on a Scrum based project, a Kanban based project, or if you are using some other framework, then your issue types, what all issue types will be there, are configured based on that. So either Jira configures it for you or you have the full freedom to create the issue types on your own. Those things also we'll be discussing in this video. For now, just let's stick to the overview. So on the right hand side, if you see, we have a lot of fields and detailed panel is there. But let's say I want to open this issue in a separate tab. Then I'll just click on the link given for this issue and open it in a different tab. Okay, as simple as that. Here we have a bigger view and a lot of fields are quite visible over here. Okay, I'm going back. And since we haven't started the sprint yet, therefore in our active sprints, we were not able to see anything. So I'll just start this sprint. To start this sprint, on the right, if we see, we have the start sprint option. And a lot of other features like edit sprint and delete sprint are also available here. Now, if you want to start it, just click on this button. Then provide the details of that particular sprint, that is the sprint goal, then the start date, end date, the duration of the sprint, etc. And then simply click on this button start. Yep. So we can see that as soon as the sprint started, we have all the issues in our active sprints board. Since 3 of these issues were already in the in progress status, therefore they went to the in progress tab. But generally it doesn't happen. If we are planning our sprints properly, then all of them should be in to do while starting the sprint. Okay. So now we discussed backlog, active sprints, timeline is also there. This timeline view shows us the roadmap or future and past planning of your project. We'll discuss this timeline further as we move forward in our video. Now let's come to the active sprints once again. This is our board. If we want to move the issues like from to do to in progress, then just we have to drag and drop, and from in progress to done. It's very simple. On the top we can see how many issues are there in the to do, how many issues are there in the progress. That is, it shows us how many issues are there in each status. Then this group by is something new introduced by Jira. So we can group by the issues based on different categories. Let's say assignee, or we want to group the issues based on a particular epic. Then we can do it from this group by tab. For example, let me change the assignee of one of the issues. Let's say I want to make it automatic. Let's say make it unassigned. Okay. Now let's do a group by. We have removed the assignee from Clint 28 issue. So now we can see the board has been divided into different swim lanes, in which on the top we have the issues assigned to management bliss, and then there is one issue in the next section which is unassigned. Okay, then on the top we also have certain filters. Let's say after grouping by, I also want to do one more filtering. That is, let's say I just want to see the issues which are under a specific epic. Then I'll just click that and you can see that this is what is available to us, that the filtered view. Now let's clean it. Apart from that, from the quick filters, we can do some more filtering, like recently updated I can filter out, or I can filter out assigned to me, or I can filter out just the issues which are for a particular customer. If you see this customer US, I have created this quick filter. It's very simple to create any quick filter. What we have to do is, we on the top right, we just have to click on these three dots. Just click it, do a configure board, and here we can create one more quick filter for us. On the left hand side, on the same panel, we can see that there are lots and lots of other configurations as well available for us, which we can do from the board. For example, let's say I want to provide a specific card color for specific issues. For example, I want to provide the colors to the card based on the priority, then also we can do it. Now we cannot change the color because it's a free version of Jira, but if you are having a better version, that is a paid one, then we can choose the colors as well. Now similarly, there are lots and lots of other configurations that you guys can explore. Now moving back to the board. Also, one more thing, that if you want to understand about each and every configuration on this board, or you want to go into the details of everything with respect to Jira, then I have already created a course that is specifically created using the industry-wise examples, which can help you enhance your project management skills as well as Jira learning very fast. Okay, so the link is provided below. If you want, you can have a look at it. Now I am again back to my active sprints board. Then let's go back to the backlog once again. And few things which we can also discuss is that if we see over here, we have the epics as well shown on the backlog, or this is the sprint backlog and this is the product backlog. So as we can see, this first issue, CLIN 9, is from the conditions and allergies management epic. The one on the top, CLIN 42, is from the neurology and mind treatments epic. So this is how the epics view is also shown very easily over here. Now again, if we want to specify an epic or associate an epic with a particular issue, simply we have to just click on this plus epic button, select the epic as per your requirement, and it's done. Then we can also easily see the statuses available over here. Now when we'll be moving further, I'll discuss in the video what are statuses, etc., and how they get associated with the fields. Then moving forward, we have these story points, that is the estimations, also are shown over here in the backlog itself. Then next column is for priority, and then next one is for assignee. So lots of information is available in just one glance from the backlog view itself. Apart from that, if you want to add some more fields, that is also a possibility in Jira. Now these three dots, if we click, we can do a lot of stuff over here, like we can move the issues here and there, then we can copy the issue link. Apart from that, we can make a lot of changes in the different fields of these issues using these three dots menu option. Then on the top, we have a search button where we can search for a particular issue. Let's say I want to search only the issues which have a system name in their summary field. So I just have to type the system and do a search, and all these issues which are specific to system or which have system coming up in their name somewhere will be shown in our backlog. So as we can see, one is in our sprint backlog and one is in our product backlog. Okay, let's clear it out. Now we have lots of other options. That is, if we see calendar, this is one new thing which has been added. So the calendar view in our project only shows the issues that are scheduled using the start date and due date fields. So what I mean is that if while creating your fields, you have a start date field and a due date field available, then we can see all those issues under the calendar. It just gives us a view which helps us in the planning, or which just helps us to see a quick glance that what all sprints are happening, what all releases are happening, what is planned next as per the dates, etc. So this is the usage of calendar over here. Then again we have the facility to filter out the issues based on the different issue types, based on statuses, assignees, epics, etc. Like we can create any more filters over here. Now if we move down, we have a reports option which will be talking in details later in our video. Then we have another one more new menu, that is the list. Let's click it. So the list view sorts all your project's work in a single list that can be quickly scanned and sorted by a field. So you can use this list to add or delete or view the issues in your project. Okay, so if we see, all the issues are available over here. The done status issues are also here, which were not part of our backlog. Okay, so then again it's a view for ease. We can do a lot of stuff over here. We can add the fields over here, we can create issues, we can share this list further with other stakeholders, we can again apply the filters on this view. So it's just a list provided to us with all the issues of the project for better view. Now if you're using a paid version of Jira, you can see all the issues from different projects as well, which are part of your Jira instance. Okay, now moving further, what are goals? The goals also we can define over here in Jira. Goals in Jira represent the outcome that multiple projects contribute to. Goals are generally something, the work which you want to achieve at a longer period of time. So they can be represented in different frameworks like KPIs or OKRs, SMART goals, etc. All those things we can define over here using the goals menu. Then we have the issues. Again, this is a view. This view is giving us the issues from project equals to clinical process project. This is the key for that project, ordered by DESE, that is, which have been created later. Okay. Now moving back to the project, I'm going to the backlog once again. If we see on the top right, we have this settings cogwheel. If we click over here, lots and lots of different settings we can do. If we want to change any permissions or the look and feel, or we want to create any specific general configurations and settings, then system settings are there. If we want to make some configurations with respect to issues, we have this issues options. And if we want to make changes with respect to different other Jira products which you have integrated with Jira, then we have an option as products over here. Now on the top, if we see the Teams tab, this is a place where you can go and create your team. That is, you can invite people to Jira. You can create your team from here. Okay. Now on the top, if we see, there is a create button. Let's click on it. We will be creating different issues from this button itself. So if we see that as soon as we have clicked this, lots of different project types are shown over here. Let's say if I want to create an issue in some other project, I can go ahead and select that project, and the fields correspondingly will change with respect to that project. So if you remember, I told you what all issue types will be part of your Jira project depends on the type of project which you have created. So since we are working on this clinical process project, which is a Scrum based project, we have these issue types: task, bug, story, epic. This dev research one is a custom created issue, and we'll talk about it later in this video only. And we know that what an epic is. Epic is one big chunk of work which will have further work types defined in it. Then we have a story. Story is nothing, just a user's point of view on what work has to be done and why it has to be done. For example, as a shopping cart user, I want to see all my favorite products as soon as I enter the search page, so that it's easier for me to do the shopping. So this is how a user story is created. The user stories are generally created by product owners, but let's say if your product owner is quite busy and you have a lots of user stories created, then the team and the Scrum Master, everyone is involved in creating user stories in order to help the product owner. Now again, if you want to know a lot more about user stories and how each user story gets created, how the acceptance criteria and done criteria etc. get created in that, then I have a couple of videos on YouTube. You can go through those. I will provide the links below. And also I have defined all those things in my detailed Jira course. Link I will be providing below. So you can go through all those links. Okay, task is some work which you have to do. Now bug is a defect or an error which has come in your system. Task, story and bug all can be defined under an epic. Now as soon as we have our issue type defined, we have the different statuses. Like if we are just creating the issues, then it will be in the to do status. We can provide the summary of that issue. We can provide other fields like which component this issue belongs to, and we can create components easily from the left hand side menu. If you see over here, we can divide a project into different components from this particular menu option, and we can create component easily. Then we can provide a detailed description of the issue which we are creating. We have to provide the reporter, we have to provide the release which it will be part of, then other fields like priority and labels. Label is some tag which you want to provide to your field. Environment, on what all other releases this issue will have effect on, if this issue is linked to any other issue, and if yes, then you have to provide the relationship, how and with which issue it is related to. For example, this bug which we are creating is blocking our issue CLIN 9, then I can specify it something like this. Then we can provide the assignee to whom I can assign to. I can provide the parent of that issue. I can provide a particular sprint, the customers, the story points, that is the estimation of that issue, and if there is a due date that this has to be fixed, let's say it has to be fixed somewhere before October 25th, then I can define all those things and I just have to click a create button and the issue has been created for us. If I want to view the issue, I can click on this link. Yep. So the issue has been created and it has all the different field values which we have provided. So similarly, we can create other issue types as well, like tasks, stories, epics, etc. It's simple to create all these issues. Again, we also have an option to create the issues in bulk as well. So that was a quick overview of Jira, and further in our video, we will talk about a lot of good features in details. So let's move forward. So now we know about different usages of Jira and the capabilities of Jira. As we go further into this video, we'll be exploring all of them. With that said, I'll move ahead deeper and we'll talk about different useful features of Jira now. I'm starting with custom issue types and fields. In Jira, issue types are made up of fields. For example, a story issue type is made up of many fields like summary, status, project, etc. So all these fields create an issue. Now, when we create a Scrum-based project, we get different issue types by default in Jira, which are story, bug, task, and epics. But many times we want to add some more data into a field which is by default not present in these issue types like task, story, bug, epic, etc. What I'm trying to say over here is that I want to add some more detail, but that field is not here because that field is quite specific to my project. So in that case, we can use custom fields. Custom fields allow people to add information specific to the team's need. I'll take an example to make things clearer. Consider adding customer-specific details to your issues. If your product caters to 3 distinct clients and you're looking to enhance the issue tracking for stories, one practical solution is to integrate checkboxes in the story issue type. This approach enables clear specification of which customers are impacted by this particular story. Here, we can create a custom field and configure it for the story issue type easily. We can define a field to have checkboxes and specify 3 different values to be associated with 3 different checkboxes. And in our case, we have taken this example of, let's say, customer UAE, customer US, and customer CA. Now, apart from checkboxes, there are many other options for us to create different types of fields. Like we can use date picker, we can use date time picker, we can use labels, or we can add label as a field. We can use number field or anything to be specific. But the idea is that I want additional fields which are not already present into my issue type. Okay, now let's see this thing clearly in Jira. Okay, so currently I am on the backlog of my page, and let's see from where to create custom fields. On the right hand side top, we can see this cogwheel. If I click over here, I will go to the issues, and here on the left, we can see the fields. On the right hand side top, I have an option to create a custom field. From here, we can create a custom field, and we have an option of picking and choosing the new field which we would like to create. We have standard options and we have advanced options as well. For example, radio buttons, select list, number field, labels, etc. Now I will show you one of the already created field. I'll just go and create a story. And here if you see in the end, this is an example of a custom field created for the issue type story. So once we create a custom issue field, we have to associate it with a particular issue type where we want to add this field in our workflow. Okay, so let's move ahead now. Similar to custom fields, we can also create custom issue types. Jira allows you to add or delete your own custom issue types to suit your team's need. Once we configure a new issue type in Jira, we will be able to see it along with other issue types while creating an issue. And the fields that will be part of issue type are also defined during the same process. While you are creating a new issue type, you also need to define what all fields will be part of this new issue type. So again, these fields can either be custom fields which you want to have special ones, or they can be any standard fields which are already there in your Jira instance, which are already associated with some other known issue type like story, task, bug, etc. Let's take an example. Imagine that your project involves consistent research activities along with standard product development. To effectively organize and document the unique aspects of your research, you may find it beneficial to introduce a specialized field customed for this purpose. This allows you to capture all relevant information about your research activities comprehensively. To achieve this, consider creating a custom issue type, and in our case, I have given it a name Dev Research, which refers to development research. We can create a new issue type and associate it with our project so that we can capture all the relevant information about the research activities comprehensively. We can add the fields as per our requirement. We have this flexibility to either utilize the fields which are already available in Jira or create new custom fields specifically as per our requirement. Okay, so I'll just show you that how this particular issue type development research which we have created on our own looks like when it gets added to our project in Jira. Now, similar to creating the custom field, we can also create custom issue type. What we have to do is on the right hand side cog wheel, we have to click on this and then just go to the issues option, and here on the right hand side itself we can see a button add issue type. We can create the issue type from here and then associate it with our workflow to get it added for our project. Now let me show you. I have created it in some other Jira instance, so I will just open that, and here just click on the create button. And if we see that along with task, bug, story and epic issue types, I'm also able to see this new issue type, that is dev research. And similar to all the other issue types, it also has different fields which can capture the information as you can see on the screen. Okay, now let's go back. Now moving ahead, we'll talk about workflows. What are workflows? In Jira, the path your issue takes throughout its life cycle from creation to completion is called workflow. That is, workflows in Jira represent the life cycle of an issue. They define the stages an issue takes before it reaches the resolution state. For example, if an issue ID is opened, it moves to a development in progress and then code review and then to done finally. So this process or these stages which this particular issue takes, or the path which this issue takes, is within this workflow defined for your project. Let's talk about what makes up the workflow. That is, what are the components of workflow. Firstly, status. A status indicates where the issue is within the workflow. For example, we can see open, in progress, code review, done, etc. These are all the different statuses. Then transition. A transition represents the action being taken to move an issue from one status to another. A transition is a one-way link. So if an issue needs to move back and forth between two statuses, then two transactions would be needed. So if we see the lines over here from open to in progress or from one state to another, then these lines are nothing but the transitions, and we have named all these transitions like start progress, ready for review, code review passed, etc. Next component is resolution. When a task is completed or no longer open, it needs a resolution status. Some examples may include closed, resolved, shipped, completed, done, finalized, won't do, etc. etc. So a resolution is a must for a workflow. When we create a project in Jira, for example, a Scrum based project, by default, a workflow gets associated with our project. And in our case, it is to do, in progress and done. That is, the workflow will consist of these three statuses only by default. So what I'm trying to say over here is, whenever we create a project in Jira, a workflow gets created for us, and that workflow is by default as per the framework. But if we need to add some more statuses as per our project's need, and let's say I am not strictly following Scrum, I want to follow a Scrumban kind of framework and I want to add some more states into my workflow, then we can easily do it in Jira. Also, we have the option to create our own workflows and associate with our project. And apart from that, we can also import the workflows from Atlassian Marketplace. So let me show you how to import an already existing workflow. Okay, so now we are in our Jira instance. Let me open one of the projects. On the left hand side menu options, I'll go to project settings And here again on the left we have a workflows option. I'll just click it, and here if you see on the top we have a button add workflow. If I click on this button and select add existing, then I have numerous options to select the workflow which is already existing for the Jira instance I'm using. Apart from that, we also have an option to choose from marketplace. That is, from Atlassian marketplace, we can pick and choose some workflows that are being created for our usage in Jira. For example, someone has created this production line workflow. If we want to use this kind of a workflow, then we can just select and add it. While we will be adding it, it will show us different statuses that will be added to our workflow. Okay, now let's go back. Now let's move ahead and I will show you a simple workflow which has 5 states and limited transitions in it. This is an example of a simple workflow. So if we see over here, we have just open, closed, resolved, reopened and in progress states. And the transitions over here are also limited. Therefore, it's very easy for us to monitor the life cycle of an issue. Take an example. Let's say our issue got created, it went to the open state, then it moved to the in progress state, then it moved to the resolved state, and from the resolved state, let's say it was not correct, then it moved to the reopened state, and from the reopened state, it again moved to the in progress state, and from the in progress state, it finally move to the closed state. So this is an easier pattern to follow, and we should try to have a minimalized form of a workflow. That is, we should try to maintain a very simple workflow rather than having a very complicated one. So I'll show you an example of another complicated workflow. So this is an example of a complex workflow. It has lots of state and it has many transitions happening over here. There are very fine light colored lines over here. If you see that these are the different transitions. Understanding such workflows becomes very difficult for the developers and the people working in the project. Chances of confusion increases over here. Hence, it's always recommended to keep your workflows as simple as possible. Now let's move ahead and we'll be going to understand the Jira boards. But before that, let's also keep in mind that the Jira boards and the workflows are directly connected to each other. An agile board is a tool that helps the teams plan, visualize and manage the work. In Jira software, the board displays a selection of issues in columns, with each column representing a step in your team's workflow for taking the work from beginning to completion. So if we see over here, we have 3 columns representing the 3 different states which are there in the workflow. That is to do, in progress and done. Let me show you an example of such a board. Okay, so now I am back on my Jira instance and on the backlog of my project. And if we want to see the board, we have to click the active sprints. Here we can see the board which has been created by the sprint for us. And there is another option over here. If we click over here, we can see all the different boards that have been created for this project. So if you see this board, you can easily find out that it has different columns which represent the statuses of the workflow. We have to do, in progress, test, done, etc. And we have some quick filters. Let's say I want to see the issues which are specific to Epic. I can click that and change my view. Okay, I'll just do the clear filters. So if we create a Scrum based project, Jira by default creates a Scrum board for us. Well, there are 2 types of most commonly used boards in Jira. That is the Scrum board and the Kanban board. Scrum board is for the teams that work in sprints. That is, which have time boxed periods to complete a set amount of work. And the Kanban board is good for the teams which have a primary objective to manage the flow of work. These boards come pre-configured while we create the type of a project. That is, if we create a Scrum based project, a Scrum board gets created. If we create a Kanban project, a Kanban board gets created for us. The key features of both the boards are different because they both are different methodologies. So let's see that in details in Jira. So as and when we try and create a project in Jira, and if I select Scrum, then it will show me that these will the issue types which will get added, and this would be the workflow associated with it. So if I create a Scrum based project, let's go ahead and create it for the sake of demo. Click next. So if we see over here that a board already got created for us, this is a Scrum board, and if we start creating the issues will get added into this board. Now if I go back and try to create one more project, and let's say this time I'm creating a Kanban project, again it's showing me that it will have these states. But let's say if I want to add some more states, then I can modify my workflow and add them. So this is a typical example of a Kanban board. Here you can see that it didn't had the just to do, in progress and done, but it has one more column over here, that is the backlog. So what will happen is that when we start creating issues, it will add all the issues which are present in the backlog over here, and this column represents that which are in the to do state, that is selected for developing them now, and other columns are same. Now one more difference over here is that we can add the limit of these columns, that is what will be the work in progress limit. So if you guys know how Kanban works, it sets the limit for each status in the workflow so that the team does not faces any bottlenecks, and the focus is more on completing the issues rather than picking new ones. So this is the place where we can set the count limit. I can set the maximum and minimum issues limit as well in the Kanban board. Okay, so that is the difference between a Scrum board and a Kanban board. Now again, let's move back. Now, as I told earlier as well, that workflows and boards are directly connected with each other, reflecting the agile methodologies commonly used in their project, like Scrum or Kanban. So whatever statuses we have defined in the project workflow should be reflected in the board, and whatever transactions we have defined in the workflow are strictly followed by the board. Let me show you with an example board in Jira. Okay, so I'm again back on my Jira instance and I have opened my project's backlog. Now let's see the workflow and how is it associated with the board. To understand this, we would first have to go through the workflow states. Okay, so I'm opening the workflows now. So this diagram is open now. So we can see that we have to do, in progress and done statuses over here, and then we have code review and deployment pending. Now we can see that all statuses can transition to done. That is, from all statuses we can move to done, and from all statuses we can move to in progress, and from all statuses we can move to do state. But from in progress state, we can go to code review. That is, the previous state of code review status should always be in progress. I cannot move from done to code review, or I cannot move from to do to code review. We have just one arrow, one transition over here. Similarly, from code review, only we can move to deployment testing. Let's see this relation in the board. Okay. I'll go back to the project. So this is my board And as we can see that we have this all these statuses on our board, and if I want to move any issue to in progress, I can easily do that. And if I want, let's say from code review also, I can move back to in progress. From in progress, I can move to code review. But let's say if I want to move to deployment pending, I cannot. It's showing me that you cannot move this issue to this column due to workflow configurations or permissions. Okay. So the thing is that only from code review state, I can move to deployment pending. Similarly, from to do also, I cannot move either to code review or deployment pending, but I can directly move it to done status. So this is how the relationship is between the workflows and the corresponding boards. Okay, let's go back. Now let's move ahead to another topic, that is advanced searching and JQuery in Jira. Jira allows you to do basic searching as well as advanced searching using the JQuery, that is Jira query language, to search for issues. You can specify a criteria that cannot be defined, or it's difficult to define them in quick or basic searches, and have an advanced search for you. For example, we can use an order by clause to sort the result list. Let's take a scenario. Get stories from clinic management project and get them sorted based on the movement of status from one category to another. Example query would be project equals to clinic management and issue type equals to story, order by created, which means that it will show you all the issues that are part of clinic management project, and the ones that got created the last are shown first. Another scenario is get all the non-closed issues that are part of data migration and analytics project. The example query would be project equals to data migration and analytics project and status equals to closed. So this will give us all the issues that are non-closed and are part of a particular project. Let's see this example in Jira. Okay, so again I am in the backlog of my project, and let's do the advanced searching of the query which we saw just now. So for that, I am going to filters, click view all issues. Now I can type my own query over here. That is, I want to sort issues based on priority. Okay. That is, the project equals to clinic management and issue type equals to story and order by equals to priority. Let's search it. Yep. So we have the issues from clinic management project whose issue type is story and who have the highest priority are shown first. As you can see in the details panel, this issue has the highest priority. Now let's say if I want to see the issues which have low priority first and then move towards the highest priority in the list. So what I have to do is I have to write ASC over here. That is ascending descending. Ascending is when you see the lowest priority first in the list, and descending when you want to see the highest priority first in the list. Okay, now as you can see, we have the low priority issue first in the list. Similar to priority, we can order the issues by any other criteria. Let's say the created date. If I want to see the issues based on their created date, ordered by ascending or descending, then also I can use the order by clause. I just have to change the clause or the criteria for which I want to see the order. Okay, now let's go back. Now there are some inbuilt functions as well which we can use as part of our advanced searching. We have a long list of functions which we can use. For example, open sprints. This will give us issues from the sprints which are still open. So this is a long list which we can use, and we can find them in the documentation which has been done for Jira. I will add the link in the description below. Before moving ahead, I would like to tell you that I am trying to explain what all we can do with Jira, like what are the good features which we can use from Jira. But if you want to learn how to do these things in details and in depth, then I have created a comprehensive video on Jira which starts from the very basics about Agile, Scrum and Jira, and by the end it helps you to master Jira. So if you are interested, then please go through that course. The link is provided below in the description. With that, I'll move ahead and I'll show you the example of open sprints function which we just talked about. The scenario is to get all the non-closed issues in an open sprint that are part of data migration and analytics project. Now the example query here would be project equals to data migration and analytics project and status is not equals to closed and the sprint in open sprints. Like this is the function which we can use. Let's see this example in Jira. Now once again I am into my Jira instance. Let's type the query which gets the issues that are not closed and are from the sprints which are still open. Okay, so we have our query now, project equals to data migration and analytics project, status not equals to closed and sprint in open sprints. Now let's do the search. Okay, so we have got all the issues which are the part of the sprints that are not closed yet. Let's have a look. So this issue is a part of an open sprint. To verify it, let's open this issue itself. Now we can see that it is part of DMAP sprint 5. Let's go back to the active sprints. We can see that DMAP sprint 5 is still active and is not closed yet. Let's look at another issue. DMAP 18. So this is how the Jira query language works. Okay, let's go back. Another example is linked issues with the help of an issue key. The scenario is to get all the issues that are linked to a particular issue, that is DMAP 40. So I've created this issue earlier, DMAP 40, and now I want all the issues which are linked to this DMAP 40 issue. Then we can use this example query, project equals to data migration and analytics project and issue in linked DMAP 40. Okay, let's write the query with respect to the linked issues function. Our query is project equals to data migration and analytics project and issue in linked issues DMAP 40. That is, give me all the issues in the project data migration and analytics which are linked to DMAP 40. Let's do the search. And we can see that DMAP 146 and 58 are the results. Let's verify this. I will search for DMAP 40. And if we scroll up, we can see that DMAP 58 and DMAP 146 are linked issues for this issue DMAP 40. Okay, let's go back. What are filters? Filters in Jira are nothing but the saved searches. You can search for issues using different criteria in basic or advanced search, and then you can save your search as well, which is called a filter. Let's create a filter in Jira. Okay, I'm in the backlog of my project. I'll just go to this filters option here on the top and select the drop down. Here I can see all the different filters that have already been created. We can also do view all filters from here. Again, I would be able to see all the filters over here with the owner, the viewers, editors, etc. Now to create a filter, we have an option on the right hand side, this button create filter. Let's create it. Now we can create any filter over here. Let's take the example of the linked issues query which we created earlier. I will again type the same query. Now let's say I have to search for these issues again and again. So what I will do is I will just save this as a filter for my future usages. Now to save this filter, on the right hand side we have an option of save filter. Okay. Now I will provide a suitable name for this filter. Now we can save the viewers of this filter either private, that is only you will be able to see this filter, or if you want the viewing access to other people or groups or organization, then you can provide the appropriate group name or the username, etc., and then click and add. Similarly, if you want people apart from you to edit this filter, who can make changes to this filter, then also you can select a group or a user and then add it. Okay, let's save it. Now we have created this filter. So whenever I want to search the issues which are linked to DMAP 40, what I have to do is just go to the filters, view all filters, and here I can type the name, and yes, all the filters will be available to me. Now I have some more options over here. I can share this filter to the different teams who also are interested in the issues of this filter. I can export all the issues which I will get from the result of this filter into different formats like export XML, RSS file, Word file, HTML file, CSV file, etc. Then we also have an option to bulk change the issues who are the result of this filter. Apart from that, over here in this link, we can find the details of the filter, like it is owned by whom, what all permissions it have. Now the one who creates filter is called as a filter owner, and the filter owner has the access to the filter, which can be given to other projects, teams, resources, etc. Now we can also provide the subscriptions of this filter. To send the data of this filter to subscribers, you have to just click add subscription, and here we can provide to whom we want to send the subscription of this filter. That is, who all will on a particular scheduled timing will receive the results of this filter. Let's say sometimes the stakeholders want some critical data to be published to them very often, like let's say the hot issues which are priority one issues to the customers, etc. So this subscription will help them to get the results of such a filter on a scheduled basis. Okay, I'm cancelling it for now. So this was how to create or share filters. Now let's go back and see what's next. Now, what are the different use cases of filters? We can use filters in many ways. In fact, I find filters as their best feature because it is then further used in reporting and dashboards, etc. We can access the saved filter through issues and filters menu, and we can quickly see these issues that meet our search criteria. These are the issues which we want to see over and over again. For example, get all the issues that are in an unreleased fixed version, that is, which are part of a release but not released yet. That is, I want to get only those issues that are into a unreleased version. So an example query would be project equals to clinic management. Here I am specifying the project as well, but if you don't specify the project name, then you will get the search result for all the projects which are part of your Jira instance. So the query here is project equals to clinic management and fixed version in unreleased versions. We can also subscribe to the filters. If someone wants to stay updated on filter results, then they can use the subscribe feature. That is, you can set the frequency at which you receive updates via email. If you subscribe to a filter, you will get a periodic mail on the result list of that particular filter. Sharing filters. We can share a filter with specific user group or even make it public for all the Jira users in your organization. This makes it easier for others as well to use those filters. Once your filter is saved, you can use the filter as the basis for your various reports available in Jira. Just apply your previously created filter to these reports to get the data you want to represent in a certain way. For instance, if you are focusing on a high priority issues for your project affecting your project's timeline, a filter can be created to get all the high priority issues, and then you can use them to create a Jira report. Let's see this in Jira. Okay, we are back into our Jira instance, and now let's see how to create a gadget from a filter. Now I am going to the dashboard page. Click on view all dashboards. Okay, now here is where we can create a gadget. Click on the edit over here, and here we can see a button add gadget. So we'll be talking about dashboards as well, but before that it's important for us to know how to create gadgets with the help of dashboards. Okay, so I would like to create a result gadget. What basically a gadget is are the small pieces of information shown on a complete dashboard. Okay, so currently I am creating a result filter dashboard or a filter results dashboard. This will show all the issues of a filter in this particular gadget. Now, which filter to choose here? It depends on what results you want to show. Currently, I am choosing the CM high priority issues. This filter contains all the issues that are of high priority. Okay, now we can provide the number of results over here which we want to see at a time. Let's say we add a number 25 over here. Then we can provide the which columns we would like to show, and if there are some particular columns which we definitely want to show over here, and then we can add them as well. For example, I would like to show the effects versions and just do a save, and yeah, our filter results CM high priority issues has been created for us. Let's have a look. It contains all the issues that are of high priority in this particular project. If we want to see this filter, let's have a look. Yeah, so we have all these issues over here, and if I scroll right, I can see that all these issues are of high priority. All this data can be retrieved from a filter and provided in the gadget which we created just now, this one. So this is an example of one gadget. Different other types of gadgets can also be created with the help of filters, which can be further used in reporting. Additionally, Jira allows you to create dashboards where you can add gadgets that use your filters to display real-time data such as current status of issues, pie charts showing distribution by issue, status, or some other criteria. By effectively utilizing filters in Jira reporting and dashboards, we can create customized and obvious view of project metrics and KPIs, eventually helping us in making informed decisions. So this is how we can create different gadgets in Jira. See an example. Now let's create one more filter over here, and that will be a pie chart. Again, I will be using filter for this gadget. Again, I will click this add gadget button and select a pie chart type of a gadget. Click add. Okay. So this gadget has not been configured for us. Let's do an edit once again. Yeah, now it's showing the configurations, that is what filter would you like to select over here. I can provide the name of any filter for CM board. That is all the issues which are part of CM board will be part of this filter. Now I want to create a pie chart based on the priority. Let's save it. And yeah, we can see that this pie chart gadget has been created for us. 78% of the issues are medium priority issues, 13% of the issues are highest priority, 7% are high. So things are very clear in a way in terms of reporting. So we can see how effective the filters are when it comes to reporting. Okay, now let's go back. And these gadgets are then used to create dashboards. Now, what are dashboards in Jira? In Jira software, a dashboard is a collection of gadgets or pre-installed data displays that show various types of real-time information to help you track and monitor your work across projects. We can create dashboards in Jira to show projects, assignments, progress, achievements, etc. in different types of charts. One can create one dashboard from different projects or multiple dashboards for one massive overview of all the work you are involved with. Dashboards can be private or shared with other users on your instance. Private or personal dashboards can be used to keep track of assignments and issues you are working on. Shared dashboards are created to make the project information accessible related to the project's organizations, assignments and achievements, etc. But why to use dashboards? We use dashboards to get customized views, to show relevant project information, enabling users to focus on what is important for them and what is not. Real-time updates display up-to-date information on tasks, sprints, and issues, allowing for timely decision-making. Enhanced visibility provide a centralized platform for tracking multiple projects or tasks, improving overall project visibility. Efficient collaboration facilitate team communication by providing a shared view of project statuses, deadlines, and priorities. Progress tracking utilize widgets to monitor the progress of sprints, issues, and individual contributions. We can also identify bottlenecks and delays early, enabling teams to allocate resources more effectively and meet timelines. Data-driven decisions. Jira is used to support decision-making with data, using charts, graphs, reports to analyze project trends and performance. And personalization. Since we can create our own dashboards, it helps the individuals to keep a track of their own work, roles, and responsibility, enhancing the individual productivity. So this is how a dashboard may look like. Here we can see that there are 3 gadgets added to this dashboard. The first one is a pie chart which shows the division of issues based on epics. The second is a 2-dimensional filter which shows the customers on the y-axis and the assignees on the x-axis. A 2-dimensional filter is again a very commonly used gadget while creating dashboards, which can help you in showing a lot of informational data in a single glance. It is widely used to display the issue statistics. Then, third one is a filter results. It simply shows the results of a filter. We can select the columns which we want to display over here. Now we can create these using a single project data, or we can also create with data of more than one project using filters. Let's see this in Jira. Okay, so since we talked about dashboards, let's see from where to create these dashboards and how a dashboard would look like. Okay, so to create the dashboard, on the top of our panel, we have this dashboards drop down. I will click on this create dashboard option. But before that, I would also like to mention that as and when we create a project in Jira, a default dashboard also gets created for us. Now I would like to create a separate dashboard for me. Then what you have to do is just click on this create dashboard, provide the name of the dashboard, Provide an effective description. Again, provide the permissions for who all you would like to view this dashboard and who all would you like to provide the access of edit for this dashboard. Let's save it. So this is how a dashboard initially would look like. Then we can just keep on adding the gadgets over here as per the requirement of our project, like what all information I would like to show over here. For example, let me add a sprint related gadget. I'm adding a sprint health gadget for CM board. I can select for which sprint I want to create this gadget. Let's save it, and a sprint health gadget is created for us since it is like the sprint. So this type of gadget shows the health of the sprint, which is not very good over here because it's showing that 0 days have left and 100% time has elapsed, but the work is still pending. Okay, so this is how dashboards get created. The next thing is how to create a standard dashboard. That is, what all gadgets can be a part of a standard dashboard. Firstly, filter results. This gadget gives you an easy access to the results of commonly used filters. Issue statistics. This gives you a breakdown of the issues on a particular project so you can track workloads, flag bottlenecks in the system, and identify where you should allocate resources. Roadmap. This lists versions due for release and displays progress bars for each, showing resolved versus unresolved issue. This also lets you visualize how you are doing in each release. Two-dimensional filter statistics. This shows the data for a particular issue filter in a configurable data format. Sprint health. This gives you a snapshot of your sprint dynamics, telling you what's in your to-do category, your in-progress category, and your done category. It also tells you what percentage of time has elapsed and what percentage of work is complete. It prompts discussions about general progress, scope changes, and flagged issues and roadblocks. We can additionally add a sprint burn down chart as well to our standard dashboard, which shows how much work is left compared to the pending time. Let's see such a standard dashboard in Jira. Now let's see how a standard dashboard would look like. Let's click on this CM dashboard. Okay, so this has almost all the information which is required most of the time for the projects. It's showing us the sprint health. It's showing us the issue statistics, that is all the issues assigned to me or a certain person. Or we can also segregate these issues based on the assignee. Remember, two-dimensional gadget. I'll show you that one as well. We have this pie chart which shows the issues segregated based on the status. Then we have the issue statistics as well, which is showing us the issues segregated based on the assignee. It's showing that 359 issues have been unassigned and only 7 issues have been assigned to management list. So, but when we have the realistic data, then we can see different rows here for different assignees. Then this is a gadget taken which shows the release view for this project, like what all issues are part of the release and what's the status for them. Okay, I hope you got the idea. Now let's move ahead. Now comes wallboards. What is a wallboard? A wallboard is a full screen display of dashboard. It hides any navigation menus and rotates through the gadgets of the dashboard. This simplified view makes it ideal for presenting it on TV monitors. This, if we see over here, is an example of a wallboard. We can set up such wallboards for display on big screens near to where the team is sitting. When such wallboards are set up at different places in the organization, it creates a motivational environment for the team to work through. Also, other stakeholders can see the data easily on the screens on what's happening. Let's see it in Jira. To view the wallboard, on the right hand side, we have this 3 dots. Let's click over here. Click on View as Wallboard. And this is how a wallboard gets created for it. It keeps on changing the gadgets based on the assigned time. Okay. So if I again click over here, then I can also configure it as a wallboard slideshow. Let's click. Okay. So here it's saying that we can combine the dashboards from different projects. We can have data from 2 or more projects to have a concrete single wallboard as well. Okay, now let's view it. Click on View Wallboard Slideshow. This is how wallboard would look like. Again, it's the same. It will keep changing the gadgets after the particular time it has been configured. Okay, let's go back. Now we'll be talking about enabling versions. Versions we might have heard of many times in a project. What are these? Versions are nothing but just the releases. That is, it contains a set of functionality which might be changes or updates or new features added to a software product. To define what all issues will be part of a particular release in Jira, we can create versions in Jira as well and add the version specific information in that particular issue. So let's see in Jira where this particular version information gets stored and from where and how to create these versions. Okay, now let's see from where to create a version and other things related to a version. To create the version, on the left hand side menu, just scroll down and here under the development you will find releases. Let's click over here. As soon as the page opens up, it will show the versions which are already created for the release. Let's say I want to create a new version. On the right hand side, I have a button, Create Version. Click over here, provide the appropriate name, provide the right description, click Save. And we saw that the version already got created for us. Now, how to associate this particular version or any version with an issue? While creating the issue, we can associate version with that particular issue. So with the help of this field fixed versions, which is a drop down, we can select the version with whom we want to assign this issue with. Okay. Now, what if the issue has already been created? I'll go to Issues, select any random issue, and here also on the right hand side we have an option Fixed Versions where we can select and assign that particular version to our issue type. Okay, so it's that simple. Now let's go back to our version. I'll just click on the link and yeah, so I have the details page of this version. It's showing that it is unreleased and you have not provided any start date or end date. We can provide some dates over here. Let's say it will be a 1-month release. Once we have associated the issues with the particular releases, we can even filter out the issues based on versions in the backlog. So this is our backlog over here. So if we see, we have an option to filter out particular versions in the backlog. Now we can also create release notes in Jira. When we go to the details of each version, we can see the release notes button. Once you click this button, you will get all the issues that were part of this release added to the release notes. We can also change the columns as we need through formatting options. Let's see this in a Jira instance. While working on the release, let's say I want to create the release notes as well for this release. We have to click on this button, Release Notes. And for now, let's click over here this version. So as soon as we click this button, we can see all the issues for which we have assigned this particular version will be shown over here. Let me take an example of a release which has some more data. Let's go to the releases from the left hand side. Click on this release. Click on the release notes, this version, and I can see that there are a lot of issues which are part of this release. We can add some more data by using this formatting options. Like I can pick and choose what all fields would be part of this release document. Apart from that, we can also create this release document right into the Confluence. So if your organization is using Confluence for documentation, we can go ahead and create the release notes as a Confluence page as well directly from here. Otherwise, we have this release notes in this version, and we can save these release notes, we can copy them to clipboard and send it to anyone we like. Okay, so that was about release notes. Let's go back. Now, the next feature which we are going to talk about is user story mapping. We can do user story mapping as well in Jira, but let's talk in brief about what are user story maps first. User story maps are simple and lightweight representation of the product development journey. That is, how eventually a product is being developed is represented in the form of horizontal lines as well as vertical lines with the help of a user story map. This user story map will contain different small stories which finally tell you what has happened in the past, what's happening now, and what will be happening in the future. This is how a user story map looks like in Jira, with vertical division based on epics and horizontal division is based on releases. So this mapping gives a great view of what all is planned till date. We can create issues as well, including epics, stories, tasks, etc. from this view only. Let's have a look in Jira. Okay, so I am on the backlog of my page. Now to see user story mapping view over here, what I have done is I have integrated an application within my Jira instance to create a good user story map view. And we'll talk about app integrations towards the end of this video. For now, you can that I have integrated Jira with one of the apps, and I can see a story map view over here. It gives you a product life cycle from in vertical way as well as the horizontal way. So if we see the horizontal journey, it talks about the different releases happening horizontally. It has been divided based on the releases. If we see over here, this is one release, HPH Clinical Product 1.1. This is second release, and it shows all the different user stories, tasks, etc., bugs, etc. under these particular releases. Then we also have a vertical slicing of the product based on the epics. So remember, these were the epics, and if we scroll from top to bottom under each column, we can see what's happening within each epic, and we can read it something like this, that for this particular epic, these are the different user stories which are in the column, and which one of them are part of which release can also be very easily depicted from this kind of a story map view. So it's again a very informative and useful view, which is a must for the product owners, for the project managers and stakeholders, to get an understanding of what's happening, what's about to happen in the product in just a single instance. Okay, so that was about story maps. Let's go back now. Now let's move ahead and we'll talk about the next feature, that is roadmaps, now referred as timelines. Earlier was called roadmaps. So what are Jira roadmaps or timelines? The timeline is the planning view available in all Jira software plans that allow you to plan work track progress, and map dependencies within a single team and project. We can refer to it as a Gantt chart that shows how much work is completed over a period of time in relation to what we planned. Roadmap will help us to view the dependencies, milestones, and identify the goals over a period of time. It helps to maintain transparency, and this is very effective communication tool as everyone knows what's happening. Let's have a look over a real roadmap or timeline in Jira. So I'm on the backlog of my page, and if we see above the backlog, we have timeline on the menu on the left hand side. So I'll just click on timeline and it shows the roadmap or the timeline view. So let's have a look at it. Currently, we are seeing the quarters view. If we see on the right hand side, now we can see the months view over here, the weeks view as well, and today's view also. So to see things properly, let's stick to the months view. Okay, so this is how a roadmap or timeline will look like, and currently these are the epics which are there for a particular release. Let's say if I want to expand, and in general this row shows when this epic is planned to start and end, and similarly here this purple bar shows from where this epic is planned to start and end. Now let's just open the issues under these epics. Yeah, and from here we can see very clearly when this issue is planned for starting and ending. Now let's say if I want to make any changes to the particular issue, I can simply do it with the help of dragging this bar. And if there are any issues or problems within the planning, we can clearly see with the help of these warnings. This one currently shows that this issue is scheduled to end after the sprint to which it has been assigned. So that is a wrong planning, it's saying. So what we can do is we can straight away make amendments or changes as they should be. Now if there are any dependencies within the issues, that also are clearly visible over here. If we see, there are a lot of dependencies between the issues. So if we want to know about what exact dependency they are talking about, we can click over here and see that there is a dependency between two issues, and one issue blocks other issue. That is, this issue blocks this issue. It means this issue has to be completed first before this issue. Okay. Timeline shows two kinds of relationship. One is blocks and another one is blocked by. So let's say if it has been is blocked by, then it means that this is not who is blocking, but this issue is blocked by the other issue. Okay, so currently we saw this particular dependency, and hence we are talking about CM14 and CM54. So this is how it represents the dependencies between the issues. It shows the timelines very clearly, and we can easily do the planning of dates from here, and it's also easier for us to have a broad view in timeline, because on the top we can see that there are sprints, so we can clearly see what all issues will be completed before this sprint, how we have planned. Then if we see over here this blue line, it shows what is your release end date. So if you are planning properly, and if you are doing the backlog grooming activity on timely basis, and you are able to give a more definition to your user stories and provide the effort and estimate as well in the backlog for the user stories, then very clearly you can do the planning over here. We can easily find out that whether a particular issue can be completed within this release or not, and how many issues can be completed within this release. So all those things can be done very easily using the timeline, because it gives a visual representation. And the orange line over here, it represents today's date, so we can have a reference. So this also gives a visual reference to us from today, and what we have planned for next event or release. Okay, so this was a brief view or briefing on how the timeline is, and as soon as we create a project in Jira, and then we keep on adding the stories to the backlog, and then we do a backlog grooming and give some more definition, like we add the efforts, we add the timelines, and we add more details such as dates, etc. Then a timeline view automatically starts getting creating for us in Jira. That since we are using a free version of Jira over here, and it comes with limited functionalities, therefore we are not able to do the capacity planning on this instance of Jira. But if we have a better version of Jira which comes with a slight cost, then we can also do capacity planning in the timelines. Apart from this, we also have some capacity planning apps available for Jira, and capacity planning can also be done very easily when it gets integrated with Jira and timeline. One more thing, I'll just exit the full screen. Okay, so over here if we see, we have a quick filters menu also available. That is, let's say if I want to see the issues specific to only a particular version, then I can click over here and get only those specific version, and I can do the planning for a particular version as well. Similarly, if I want to make a search with respect to a particular epic, that also can be done easily through the quick filters provided on the top of timeline view. Okay. Similarly, we can do quick filtering with the help of labels. Well, labels are nothing, just the tags which we can assign with each issue. It helps us in searching issues quickly. For example, let's say if I assign a tag 1 with some issues, and let's say at later point of time I want to do certain operation only on tab 1 issues, I can search them with the help of tab 1 label, and I can easily get those issues in front of me for further operations. Okay, then we also have an option to share this timeline. I can share it to other people, other teams, other stakeholders who want to have a view of this timeline. Then I can also export the timeline to other people who are outside the organization. Let's say there are some external customers which want to have some more information or want to have the inside information on what's happening, how the release has been planned, what are the final dates. So that also is available with the help of this export. We can export it in the form of an image, or we can export it in the form of a CSV format and then share it accordingly. Okay, now let's go back. Now let's move ahead and talk about the reporting feature in Jira. Jira software provides a variety of project tracking and management reports. The reports that are primarily used for Scrum are burn down charts, velocity charts, epic reports, cumulative report, sprint report, and version report. So let's talk about each of them in brief. Sprint reports. Sprint reports show a list of issues in each sprint, allowing the teams to see what was completed and what was not. Burn down charts track the total work remaining in the sprint, helping the teams to manage their sprint progress. Velocity charts measure the amount of work completed from sprint to sprint, enabling teams to forecast future. For example, if we see over here that from sprint 1 till sprint 7, the velocity of the team is dropping, which means that the team is not performing well. Well, reasons here can be many, like attrition or more complex work has been added. The team has the responsibility to look out for. Next is epic report. Epic reports show progress towards completing an epic with a focus on the amount of work remaining. The epic report shows a list of complete, incomplete, and unestimated issues in an epic. It is particularly useful in planning work for an epic that may extend over multiple sprints. Use the epic report to understand the progress towards completing an epic over time and to track the amount of work remaining that's incomplete or unestimated. Next is cumulative flow diagrams. Cumulative flow diagrams provide a visual representation of the statuses of issues over time, showing work progression and identifying bottlenecks. The next report is a version report. Version reports predict the release date for a particular version based on how the team is progressing now. So let's see from where we can generate all these reports in Jira. So we just talked about reports. Let's see from where we can generate reports. This is my project and this is the backlog of the project. It has lots of issues and then we have the active sprint board. So to get the data of these reports, these sprints, etc., we have to go to the reports option on the left hand side menu. Let's click it over here. Yeah. So we have so many reports which can be generated easily through this software. You can have a look at these. Let's say I want to see the velocity chart. Then I can easily go over here. I can find the velocity chart. I can see what's happening in the team, how they are doing. All the information related to the issues, related to the sprints can be easily found over here. And also on top, they provide some data to how to read this chart easily. Similarly, we can create other reports as well. Let's say I want to see the cumulative flow diagram report. Then let's just click it and we get the cumulative report of all the issues over here. So it's that simple to create different types of reports. We can pick and choose which we want to show in our dashboard or in our reports which we are presenting to the senior management or which we want to put up on Wallboard, etc., etc. Also, if you see on the left hand side, here also we have the full menu of what all reports we can generate using Jira. So that was all about reports. Let's go back. The next topic we'll talk about is automations. So what are automations in Jira? Automations are a powerful way to save time and improve efficiency within your Jira projects. Automations allow you to set up rules or triggers that automatically perform certain actions based on predefined conditions. These actions can range from simple tasks like sending notifications to a more complex operation like updating issue fields or transitioning issues through a workflow, etc. Let's take an example of an automation in Jira for a better understanding. Example: assigning issues automatically. Rule: with automations, you can set up a rule that assigns incoming issues to a specific assignee. Assignees are the people who will be working on it based on criteria such as type of request or customers, priority level, etc. This ensures that the issue is routed to the right team members quickly, which reduces response time and improves customer satisfaction. I will show you this rule in Jira tool. Okay, so I am on the backlog of my page, and to do the automations, we have to go to the active sprints over here. And if we see this icon, if we hover on it, we can see that it's for automations. Let's click it. A small panel opens which shows that you can either create an automation, you can either manage automations, or you can view at the audit logs. So let's first of all go to the manage automations. Yeah. So it shows these are the different automation rules which have been created. It shows if any labels have been tagged to these rules, or again the labels over here just help for searching. Then who is the owner of these rules? What is the scope for this rule? Let's say it's either for a single project or it's a global rule. Then if it is enabled or disabled, and other actions like copying the rule or deleting the rule or exporting the rules, All these things can be done over here. Now if I want to view the audit log, I have an option over here. Let's click it. It shows what all rules have been run and what all actions have been taken. Now we also have the templates for creating rules. That is, there are some pre-written templates which can be easily used for automations. For example, a very common one used is when all the child issues are completed, then close the parent. So automatically this rule will close the parent if all the child issues have been closed. To make use of this rule, we just have to use this template, create a rule, and we have to enable it. Then as soon as all my child issues will be completed, the parent issue will automatically get closed. Then we can see the usage tab, that for a particular point of time, currently it's showing monthly, so what all rules have been used. Now if you want to create a rule, on the top right you can see this create rule button. You can click over here, you can add your triggers. Triggers are actually the events which make the rule happen. Then you can provide the conditions, and if there are no conditions, then you can simply add the action, and on the right hand side you can turn on this rule, and then you can just go to the rules and see if your rule has got created or not. So if you want to learn everything in details with help of some very commonly used industry-wise examples, then you can have a look at my very detailed course in Jira. The link is provided below, and if there are any doubts or questions about the course or anything in this video, then I will be more than happy to help you guys. Okay, coming back to the topic, now let's look at example 1. I'll click on the create rule on the right hand side. The trigger for this rule is that whenever an issue gets created, so I'll look for a trigger. Okay, issue created. Then add a component that is a condition that if, let's say, the customer is US, then do something. Okay, so I'll use a JQuery condition. Okay, I'm providing that project equals to this and the customer equals to customer US. Remember, it's showing customer checkboxes because we have the customer as 3 different values which can be selected in the form of checkbox. So this is just a JQuery query syntax, nothing to worry about. And if you want to learn more about JQuery query syntaxes, then also a very good documentation is provided by Jira on the internet. And also I have provided some easy ways to understand and grasp JQuery in my course. Okay, so now we have a trigger added, we have a condition applied, we can add a component for the action, and here we can specify the action that as soon as an issue gets created and the project is this and the customer is this, then assign a particular user to this issue automatically. Okay, I just picked and choose the values, and this is done. Now, since the rule has been created, I'll just click on turn on this rule. I have to give a rule name, so I can give a proper name. Okay, so going to the rules, a rule has been created by default. It has been enabled for us as well. So that was all about automation. Let's go back now. The next feature is integration with different apps. So now we know that Jira is a powerful project management tool. Integrating it with several apps increases its functionality even more. We can easily use the tools or services with our Jira instance to extend its functionality. Let's talk about a few app integrations that are very widely used with Jira. First of all, Confluence. Confluence is a team workspace for managing the content that allows the users to create, manage, share, organize, and collaborate on content related to projects, documentation, ideas, and more. all within a centralized platform. The key features provided by Confluence are page creation and editing. Users can create pages and blog posts to share information or updates. These pages support rich text formatting, images, links, and multimedia, making it easy to create dynamic and informative content. Another very widely used integration is integrating Jira with X-Ray. X-Ray is a powerful test management app that easily integrates with Jira, enhancing its capabilities for software testing. With X-Ray, teams can efficiently manage all aspects of their testing processes within the familiar Jira interface. The key features that X-Ray provides are test case creation, test planning, test execution, requirement traceability, test reporting, integrating with automation tools, test coverage analysis, etc. Another one is Jenkins. For teams using Jenkins for continuous integration and delivery, integrating it with Jira enables the tracking of build and deployment statuses directly with Jira issues, enhancing visibility into the CI/CD pipelines. The key features Jenkins provides are build information, deployment information, traceability, notification and alerts about build or deployment failures, etc. Other commonly used app integrations are Zifferscale, which is a test management app allowing teams to create, organize, and execute tests within Jira. Then Advanced Microsoft Teams Jira Connector, where teams can receive Jira notifications directly in Microsoft Teams channel, improving communication and collaboration across the organization. Another one is connector for Bitbucket and Jira. After enabling this app, developers can link commits, branches, and pull requests directly into Jira issues for better traceability and workflow management. So I'm on the backlog of my page, and to integrate Jira with other very useful, valuable applications, what I have to do is I just have to click on this more on the top menu, and here we have the apps, and it will show what all apps have already been installed and integrated for you. It also shows some recommendations, and if you want to add some more apps or explore more apps, we have the options available over here. So I'll just click on explore more apps. And here is the page. This is the Atlassian Marketplace where you can go and search for your app. Let's say I want to search the app related to Jenkins, then I'll just simply type Jenkins over here and click a search. It will show me all the different apps available for integration with Jira that can do the Jenkins job for me. And there are multiple options available. You can pick and choose based on your team's needs and what are the charges, etc. for using these apps. So all this decision making can be done based on various factors. So this was Jenkins, and we have lots and lots of apps available over here. For example, the script runner for Jira is also a very nice app to enhance the capabilities of Jira. Like it can do various redundant tasks for you easily. It can go to a different level of advanced searching with the functions which are not yet available in jQuery. So there are many options available for us to enhance the capability of Jira even more with the help of these apps. So you can just explore these apps and find out which one suits for your team. So that was all I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you liked the video. In case you are looking for a comprehensive course in Jira which will help you to increase your knowledge in Jira even more, then I have provided the link below. You can go through my Jira course in details, which covers all the aspects of Jira, including industry-based examples and scenarios. So do not forget to subscribe the channel, and bye for now.